Hey y'all, hey, hope all is well with you. I am Leslie. You can call me LesAnn because I will answer because it's still my name. Hooty hoo. Alright, y'all. So, anyway, y'all, today's video is about me trying to complete a African print design. So, I did start this video yesterday and I had something else planned. I have been having a shirt planned to do for this program probably 2 weeks ago, but got really distracted trying to take care of other things. So that kind of is to the wayside because I got to test it out. But I got to test out almost all my patterns. Why? Because I'm a plus size girly and most patterns don't fit me. And it has nothing really to do with the plus sizes because I'm so curvaceous. That curvaceousness makes it difficult for me to just cut straight whatever it is, even the stuff I drafted. Anyway, so I got to scrounging and realized that I actually had a couple patterns or a couple things that I had started and had something planned for, but just didn't do nothing with. I will tell you that I batch cut these maybe about 4 or 5 years ago. So here is one of them. Both of them are in the same print, but they're a slight difference. So this one probably was supposed to be a dress, and I probably was supposed to do more to it, or a tunic style because of the length. It probably was going to be a dress on somebody. And it's supposed to be in a tunic. And the other one was cut, and it's pretty much the same thing, or cut the same way, but this one had a round in it, and it's definitely a shirt style. Now, neither one will probably fit me. Neither one. But I'm not necessarily concerned. The other one, I'm going to use this one, even though this one's probably smaller. But even though it's smaller, it'll probably fit me better. Anyway, so as I was thinking about it, this one still will work better. I can put a gusset on the side to give me a little bit more width because it's not going to have darts in it to accommodate for the bust fullness. And with that, I can go ahead, which I had already planned on not doing it all the way down, or at least not. I was going to close up the sides and not put a gusset in, I think, on the fly, y'all. But because I'm going to need room to accommodate the bust, and I was not going to actually close it up all the way down because of my hips, I was going to leave it open and maybe use ties or something on the side. Yeah, that's does this happen often? Yes, I can think on the fly. I can pretty much decide on something in my head that I want to do, and I'll kind of go from there because I'm working with a base anyway. Now, the other thing about it is I don't want this to be just a pullover. I'm going to go ahead and do a pullover, but I'm going to add a placket, which I don't have a pattern for it, but that's okay because I got books I can read. Introduce a placket on it, and then add a collar. I don't think I want it to be plain, but I'm going to find a pattern or draft a pattern to make the collar stand as well as the collar. It may be a collar. It may not have a stand on it. I don't know. We'll see. We're going to play with that part. But I have the books either way. So as I was looking in the roll up of these particular, this fabric was in there. I'm going to chuckle and laugh about this. I've had this pattern just this long, and I made a top, but I've had the top and I've never worn the top. I've had it I had one in my show, but I've never worn the top. And I don't know if I haven't worn the top because it didn't have a cami to go with it. I don't know if I didn't wear it because I didn't really like it for me. But I like the bad part is I know it's a style I like. So it could be the material and because there's no cami to go with it. or the fact that I don't have a bottom that goes with it. Instead of stressing about it, how about this? I have decided that I'm going to go ahead and cut it up. I'm going to put it in this. So these are the things that I would like to do with this top. One, the top is going to be a tunic with gusset added on the side with the lace up going on. I think I'm going to put, and I may use the material to create the ties. If not, I do have a nice navy blue because I cannot use the fabric that I initially wanted to use, which was this yellow. This yellow, I had said, ooh, it should match. It should look perfectly because I do have more up there. And it's a ponte knit, and I was planning to just make me a pair of pants to kind of go with it. I'm cool with a bright pair of yellow pants. That doesn't bother me. But as I'm looking at this in person, the color is slightly off. It's off enough to annoy me. I know you're like, really? Yeah, it's off enough to annoy me. So because it's off enough, I don't want to mess the vibe up. So of course I go on a scavenger hunt. I'm not worried going on a scavenger hunt because Leslie's gonna find something. She'll usually find something to match. Why? Because she has her own fabric store. I call it my own fabric store because I have that much fabric. And it ain't too often I can't find something that I can make work, okay? To make work. Now, I may use this as a lining in the sleeve part, but not the actual sleeve. All right, so that's not going to waste. These little scraps, I'm going to put it in the scrap bin until Leslie figures out, because, you know, sometimes I'll be thinking maybe I can make little doll clothes or something like that. But how many little kids play with Barbie dolls and baby dolls? I don't know. They need to go back to it and get off these computers. But that's my 2 cents. It may be 4 cents to somebody else, but that's my 2 cents. Anyway, so we have that. Now, luckily, I have additional fabric. I was worried I didn't have no more, but additional fabric to be able to make the cuff as well as the collar. This will be a nice little, nice little piece. Nice little piece. I'm not gonna rush it. Right here, I have it's okay. Now I'm sure somebody's gonna sit up there and remind me or tell me that I'm doing something wrong, or I should do something differently. So I am probably going to use this as my binding on my shirt. And I know it's straight of grain. I know it is. I ain't concerned. And I'm going to tell you why. Because I've done it before. I've done it a lot. You just have to use a lot of steam and be patient. It's not going to be this wide. I'm going to actually probably cut this in half. So that when I cut it in half, it's going to give me a really good amount of binding to be able to go bind the front, bind the back. And it also will, because it's thinner, it's easier to manipulate versus this pretty wide, which is probably about 3 inches. Girl's good, 3 inches. Yeah. Anyway, so I'm going to cut this one. Now, in the process, of course, after this, I can probably wear, if I don't get the other part done, which is a pair of pants, I will probably wear jeans with this anyway, some fitted jeans. That's probably what I'll wear with it because I'm going to need something smooth underneath because my head's wanting to elevate it and make a nice pair of wide leg pants that's high-waisted, which probably a good pattern. Well, no, that one won't work because I think it's supposed to be a knit pattern. Which is a beauty du jour, her pattern, her pants, which I didn't double check. Let me quickly look. Oh, okay. The pants can be used cotton blends, lightweight denim, lightweight wool, linen blends, stretch wovens. Ah, that is good to know. Okay, so I'm thinking maybe the pants, because then there'll be a nice little fitted pair, but they kind of bail out, but not a lot. This may work perfectly for what I'm thinking of. So I actually pulled this, I think it's a cotton blend. It could be a linen blend. I don't know. It could be a rayon cotton. I don't have a burn test on it, but it's obvious I've washed it because that's why it's unraveling. It's been in my stash. Who knows? But it's a great coloration to this. This would look. Oh, that blue is the exact same blue. This may be a little darker, which is fine. I would rather the pants be a little darker than a little lighter. So I'm thinking of making a pair of pants out of that. Now, because it's crunch time, we're going to make sure the top is done. The pants may not get done. Okay. If it doesn't get done, that's okay. That's not a problem. Okay. But the main thing is getting this done. So let's get this started. Oh, just so you know, I don't have a pattern for the Mandarin collar, nor do I have the pattern for the traditional collar right now. I do have, to be able to do the placket, I do have 2 books that is going to help me to create the thing I need, which is, this one is Make Your Own Patterns, Renee Berg. I believe that's how you pronounce it. So the one thing I looked at is the necklines, which tells you and teaches you how to do to make a Mandarin collar, as well as to be able to make the different style collars and how to lengthen it. It gives you what it does. It gives you measurements, and from the measurements you extract and create what you need using your body as the example. I'm going to start referencing more of my books because I'm still not getting like some of the stuff that I want as far as design wise, because I like fashion. I love fashion. I don't be as fashionable as I want to be because I'm just not finding what I want, whether it's going into the store or the patterns. And that could be the other reason why I stopped buying patterns. Some of them are just too simple. I'm like, somebody said something. Some things you just best buying it at the store. I'll leave that there. Try to get everything ready together, and then once I get everything together, we'll come back together, okay? And I'll show you some of the things that I have added on and what I'm doing. The things I have done while off camera, I drafted a Mandarin collar. Hopefully I extended it long enough that when I attach it to my shirt with the placket, it overlaps. I also drafted this panel, which is going to be my gusset in the top, because the way I'm going to do it, I think this is going to work. I am still going to do buttonholes to do the lace up. So y'all should have seen this. I should have seen this. This is going to be probably the look of my placket. I can do it where it's flat on the front side, but I think I'm going to actually do it where this has this extension. Only because the pattern piece was weird. Well, it's not weird, but I did it like a house placket that you usually see on a sleeve. And when I folded it, ended giving more of an angled look, and I actually was fine with it. So I'm gonna actually use it as a design element. Oh, wrong way. So it will comfortably make it around my arm with no problem. The other thing I got done was I actually separated the one long piece that I had that was probably about 3 inches. Once I had the sleeve, or at least the fabric rendered for the sleeve, then at that point, I will have y'all. So I know I gave y'all a boatload of list of things that I was planning to add to this top. And I'm not even doing them all. I got 2 things to do, and the shirt will pretty much be done. Or sort of. Pretty much. I ran into some issues. So the first issue was, I don't even see the pattern piece anymore. Oh. So I had planned on adding this piece in to create a gusset on the side, because I was assuming, because I measured it out and it seemed like it was smaller than my bust area, and I knew it was going to still need a little bit more room on the bottom. So I had no plans of going past right here. So this was going to stop. I was going to make sure it was short enough that it stopped right there. And I was going to do a lace up on the side. Right. Okay. Through the process, I did put the piece in and using a 1/2 inch seam allowance. And it looked huge on me. Well, I didn't think it was going to be that big on me. But it kind of defeated the purpose of that cinching, make it smaller, more contour on the sides to cinch it down. With the lace up, it would defeat the purpose. So I took it out. After I took it out, I'll show you what else I did. So the placket is in. The placket's cute. I like my placket. Placket. The placket is in. This is the bottom of it. You really can't see the design because of the busy print. So then the next thing after I did I took that out. I already knew that I was planning to take the straight. It should have been biased, but I was going to take the straight trim and actually trim out the whole bottom. Really, I was going to do the whole thing, so that was going to be like the piece on the sides that I would be able to cinch up. Of course, I did that, but I took out that panel piece because it just made it too wide. So then I sit and put it back on, and it still was like really full in the back. So I did some fisheye darts in the back of the top. I probably could have went a little bit bigger. I did 2, one here and one on the other side. I really could do or make it a little bit wider. It was, the depth of it was 1 inch and almost 10 inches in length, 8 to 10 inches in length for the whole thing. The next thing I realized is that it was too wide. I knew that with this type of sleeve I was planning to put in, I didn't want a drop shoulder. I wanted to stop at the shoulders. So I actually graded off 1.5 inches off the arm side and migrated back in. But even after that, I put it on and it still was too wide across my shoulders. At least too wide for what I wanted. So I did another fisheye dart because I French seamed the top. Yeah, I French seamed the top. So I just did a dart across the top. That helped with removing some of the fullness that was on the chest side as well. So I got all those things done. Or went through all those situations. So I did, and I was doing the sleeve. I just serged down the side of the sleeve. I was fine with that. So then I'm preparing the sleeve. Now, because this does not have the lap thing on it or a split in it to accommodate my cuff, I was like, well, let me close the cuff so that I can attach it in a closed state. But of course, I still had to do it a certain way. So, sometimes when you're working, you don't realize what you need to do until after you finish it or almost there. So I went on and had pretty much, I sewed the cuff from here to here, around and up to here. So I stopped. And these 2 ends were left open. So I actually, left it open so that when I got to the point of getting ready to attach it, that it was going to be easier for me to attach a circle and gather the fabric down to attach it to here. Then I started to realize that through this process, I will not have, I'm going to try to show it to you, a way to close these sleeves. At least I could do something, but it will probably irritate me. At least that particular way. A regular button-up shirt, this would be perfect for, but I have to actually draft the placket or the closure of this a little bit differently, still to be able to do it with a sleeve like this. And I'll play around with it. I'm not going to waste these. Don't worry. They won't go to waste. Even if I do a completely chiffon top, it's not going to waste. Nah. I don't waste stuff that's almost finished. I'll figure out a way to utilize it. Anyway. So, we have this. Now, I probably could get away with and just taking, close it up and flip it back. I won't like that for this particular top. Nah, I won't like it. But the cuff was done, but that means that it either needed a extension where it came across here already, or I would have to do loops. I wasn't going to do no loops. I was thinking about it, and I thought about it. Again, the size of the buttons that I have chosen for this top, no, I'm not doing loops. And no, I'm not doing loops. I said, no, we're not doing that. So, these are going to be set to the side. Then, yeah, it sounds like it's a problem after a problem. Yeah, it is. It's okay. But we're not stressing because we're still going to have a finished top. So, I'm trying to find so I drafted this collar. Not measuring the neckline. But I drafted this collar. It is so cute and it's so done. Okay. It laps over nicely. It's going to fit my neck. No problem. Okay. No problem. This is lapping over like, even with the seam, over 1.5 inches. So I know that I will have room once I actually attach it. Well, what I didn't think about is that this is a much more relaxed neckline. So it needed to fit a neckline that's a 22 inch, meaning the neck distance is 22 inches minimum. This is 14.5, maybe. No, more like 16, because it laps over. 16, it measures this distance about 16 inches. So, of course, there was excess amount of, and plus it doesn't sit up on the neck like most button-up shirts. So I was going to go ahead and just draft another piece and make it longer. Not thinking about the fact that this shirt sits away from the neck. It doesn't sit close to the neck. It's close, but it's not on the neck. Okay? And because it's like no space, like you would see with a nice up close bodice, well, then that means it defeats the purpose of the type of collar I created. So Leslie, in all her glory and smartness, she's decided that she's just going to bind it with the same binding that I did around the hem and everything. And then once I do that, I'm going to go ahead and put these sleeves in. And I'm just going to have to deal with the fact that it's going to have elastic in it. It'll be fine. It's not that I'm not going to wear it. It's just not what I was wanting at first. What I wanted was a long sleeve, kind of puffed out, just kind of dramatic. It's still going to have some drama to it, but it's going to be more of a relaxed fit. I would say that the way my head was going with this was going to be more of a real statement piece. But because I have to take all the bells and whistles that I really wanted off, because it's just not working with what the design had already been deemed to be, it's okay. It's slightly frustrating, but it is okay. Now, but we're going to have a top. I'm cool with it. I'm going to have a top. And I can't complain about that. So I'm going to get that done, and I will drop that in a minute. Stay tuned. To get this placket right, it's really all about pressing. And because I drafted it, I wasn't for sure if it was going to work. I'm still not sure until it's pressed into place. Show you what I did thus far. So